Okay. I'm supposed to record it today. I don't know why, but I'm doing it. Okay. Let's go ahead and start at 7:30. Okay. Oh. Oh. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. Hari Om to everyone. Hari Om. So we are seeing the text Bhajagovindam. The other name for Bhajagovindam is Moha Mudgara. Mudgara means hammer. Moha is illusion, delusion. So the hammer that destroys the delusion is this the shlokas that are here. So in the last 12 plus 1 verses, Adi Shankaracharya showed us what is moha and for what we have moha. So he showed towards, we have moha towards the apara vidya, the secular knowledge, wealth, the what you call artha, kama, for the pleasures, and the physical body and the family, and all these things, how we have the moha towards that one. And he also showed how we can free ourselves from all these mohas also. So everything we get attached to, if you look at it, actually it is not permanent. Okay, the only thing that is permanent is Bhagavan. So Adi Shankaracharya says, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Now, from verse 14 to 23, that is the 14 verses, this portion is also known as Chaturdasha Manjarika. Chaturdasha is 14, Manjarika is flower. So a bouquet of beautiful 14 flowers is the Chaturdasha Manjarika here. So here, this, as I said before, were not composed by Adi Shankaracharya himself. These were composed by his disciples who were with him, on that day, and they got so inspired by their guru's composition, they decided to offer one verse as a flower at the feet of their guru. So in these 14 verses, 3 topics are the 3 ideas that are discussed here. First thing is nourishing certain values in human life. See, the virtues that we should possess, that is highlighted here. So in the language of Bhagavad Gita, this is called as Daivi Sampat. And The second topic is what are the durgunas, the bad habits that we have, and how to overcome that. And again, in the language of Bhagavad Gita, it is known as Asuri Sampat. So the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is known as Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. So there, Lord Krishna says, Daivi Sampadvi Mokshaya Nibandhaya Asuri Mata. So the divine qualities lead to liberation and the demonic qualities lead to bondage. So that which takes us towards Bhagavan, those are the Daivi Sampat. The one that takes us away from Bhagavan, those are the Asuri Sampat. And the third topic that is covered in these verses are teaching the reality, the higher reality he teaches. So these three topics we see in this Chaturdasha Manjarika Stotra. So this 14th verse, according to Gurudev, it is attributed to Padmapadacharya. But in some text, if you see, different names are given. For example, if you take Swayam Prakasha Swamiji's Bhashya, actually he has written in Sanskritam, the notes for this Bhajagovinda, there he attributes this verse to Totakacharya. So here, who composed the verse is not important. Okay, so let's not give importance to that one. But what does this each verse deals with, and what is it that teaches us, and what is the message that is more important? But at the same time, we want to say this verse is attributed to this particular person. So we will stick with Gurudev's commentary. Okay, so that way we don't have to go here and there. So we'll stick to Gurudev's commentary. According to Gurudev's commentary, in the book that we have, he attributes this particular verse, this 14th verse, to Padma Padacharya. So we will not go into detail about each Acharya, but a few words about Padma Padacharya. Padmapadacharya was the disciple of Adi Shankaracharya. His original name was Giri. He was not very intellectual, but he had so much love for Guru to do this service. And one day he was washing Guru's clothes on the other shore of the river. And when Adi Shankaracharya called out for Giri for the class. So Giri, as soon as he heard the Guru's voice, he did not even think, that there is the river between. I have to be careful. But he started walking. As he put a step on the water, a lotus flower would come up and hold his foot up in balance. So that is why he is known as Padmapada. Padmapada. So this is the lotus feet. And he's, because of his devotion to the Guru, he got the knowledge also. Guru blessed him with the knowledge. So he was appointed as the first Shankaracharya of Puri. In Puri, Shankaracharya Mat, he was the first Shankaracharya. So here, this Padmapadacharya looks around and sees, to his utter amazement, cheats and self-deceivers are wearing the clothes of a sannyasi, and which is actually the sannyasa dharma is such a great occasion in life, and some of the people are using that one to cheat other people. So in this particular verse, Acharya is telling, don't go by the external marks of saintliness. They need not necessarily reflect the inner saintliness in them. So what is the external looks here? That is what is given here in the verse number 14. So let us chant this 14th verse. Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha. Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha. Kashayambara bahukruta veshaha. काशायाम्बर बहुकृतवेषः पश्यन्नपि च न पश्यति मूढः पश्यन्नपि च न पश्यति मूढः उदरनिमित्तं बहुकृतवेषः उदरनिमित्तं बहुकृतवेषः जटिलो मुण्डीलुञ्चितकेशः काषायाम्बरबहुकृतवेषः पश्यन्नपि च न पश्यति मूढः उदरनिमित्तं बहुकृतवेषः भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि रक्षति दुःकृङ्करणे जटिलो मुण्डी लुञ्चितकेशः one ascetic with matted locks, one with shaven head, one with hair pulled. Kashayambara Bahukrita Veshaha, another parading in his ochre robes and different disguises, different appearances. Pashyannapi chana pashyati moodaha. These are fools who, though seeing, do not see. Udara nimittam bahukruta veshaha. These different disguises or apparels are only for their belly's sake. So these are some of the veshas of a sannyasa. Vesha means not only dress, it also means assumed appearance, artificial exterior. Sometimes, when my mother will say, what kind of vesha are you wearing, like that. So it is not not just the dress, but it is actually the assumed appearance here. So you can add to this list of what Acharya has given. You can add like wearing big rudrakshas, or wearing vibhuti all over their body, or big marks on their foreheads, and also all those things. So just because these marks are there doesn't mean they are saintly or otherwise. Our Shastra has given us 4 ashramas, varnashramas. You all know about that one. So it is Brahmacharya and Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. Brahmacharya is for learning. It is the first brick in our personality. If you have accomplished Brahmacharya well, the next ashrama is very fruitful. And Grihastha ashrama lived properly with Karma Yoga Buddhi, Vanaprastha becomes effortless. Vanaprastha is retired life. And Vanaprastha lived well, it culminates in Sannyasa effortlessly. And Sannyasa is for moksha, for mukti, and for liberation. And Guruji says, learn, earn, U-turn, no return. For the 4 varnashramas here. So one commentator, it was very interesting when I was listening to him, he compares this varnashrama dharma, okay, to a cycle of a butterfly. So first it is the egg. So in the egg, the preparations are taking place to emerge as a caterpillar. And what does the caterpillar do? Caterpillar eats and eats and eats and enjoys the pleasures, and it is storing that energy in its body. And then U-turn. It takes a U-turn and becomes a cocoon. And in the cocoon, lot of changes happens, and then it emerges out as a beautiful butterfly. It's a beautiful way of, that I liked that example that he gave, so I thought I will share it with you. So, as I said, in this particular verse, sannyasa ashrama is dealt with. So, description of external appearances of the sadhu and sannyasis is given in these first 2 padas. So, Jatilo Mundi Lunchita Keshaha, Kashayambara, Bahukruta Veshaha. So you see, if you see in India, there are many different traditions, and they wear different apparel also. And by the dress they wear, you can recognize to which sampradaya they belong also. So here, some of the description that is given is some of these traditions, how the people dress. So in just few words, Jatila is an ascetic with a matted hair. Some kind of a milk is used on for the hair, and then the hair becomes matted, matted locks. Even in Ramayana we hear that Sri Ramchandra ji, he made his hair into matted locks. But I don't know about that one, because the matted locks that we have seen in our life now is not something that you can take it out, and then have normal hair. But in Ramayana, it says when he came back to Ayodhya, he what do you call uh, he made Lakshmana sit on his lap, and he removed the jatas. So if the jatas that we are thinking, we are seeing, that is something that cannot be removed at all. So there must be some difference, but I have not found it, what exactly is matted locks are. Mundi is clean shaven head. Lunchita keshaha. Lunchita means to pluck. Kesha is hair. So every hair of the head is plucked with the root. That is lunchita kesha. Kashayambara. So that is wearing ochre clothes. Bahukruta veshaha, wearing different apparels. So this Kashayambara, one commentator breaks up into Kashaya and Ambara. So Kashaya, he gives the meaning for ochre clothes, and Ambara is sky. So sky is the cloth. That means total nakedness. So these are all the apparels. Now I want to tell you a few words about these different kinds of sannyasas that we see, the different kinds of people take as sannyasa in their life. First, let us see the jatila. Jatilaha is jatadari. So keeping one's hair groomed represents attachment. So they give up that one. So the hair becomes matted. Okay, that reminded me of Swamini Sharda Priyananda, and she was in Andhra Pradesh, and she used to come here every year, and we used to organize her lectures in Hindu Temple of Atlanta. And she, after took sannyasa, she never combed her hair. She just left it like that. Even if you see the pictures now, you see that her hair was just left it like that, but it had not become matted though. So that is Jatila. But who is the real Jatadhari? That is Lord Shiva. And because of his total Vairagya, he is not concerned about his external appearance at all. So because he is totally immersed in his own self. So the next one is Mundi. Mundi means in a clean shaven head. The hair represents desires. It is said we have more desires than what we have hairs on our head. Okay, so shaving the head means getting rid of these desires. But once you shave, the hair comes up. Okay, it is not completely, it is not gone for what you call permanently. So what it means is the desires also in us, it pops up. So you shave again. So actually sannyasis shave their head on every Purnima day. Okay, and so hair also represents attachment and beauty also. Generally, a person is highly attached to hair. Shaving of the hair is to give up those attachments. So we see, this Mundan, the people who shave their head in Buddhism, and also the followers of Shankaracharya, And also some other sampradayas also you see that one. Then comes the Lunchita Keshaha. So as I said, Lunchita is plucking, Kesha is hair. So this is followed in Jainism. Okay, so they remove the hair one at a time by the root. It is very, very painful. See, when you remove the hair with the root, it doesn't come back. So that's the reason they do that one. And sometimes it bleeds also. And this kind of tapasya they follow. So when they pluck the hair, because of pain, some tears might come in your eyes. It is said for every drop of tear, they have to fast one day. So you see, Jain monks are known for their severe austerities and penances. But this is not self-mortification. This is actually self-purification. This is Lunchita Keshaha. Then Kashayambara. So those who wear the ochre clothes. Kashaya, we normally translate it as ochre clothes. So, but if you look at the dictionary meaning for ochre is, it says to color, mark, or rub with ochre. Ochre is a kind of clay that is orange in color, and the sannyasis would use this dye to dye their clothes. So I still remember in Gurudev had a small trunk. The metal trunk. If you all remember from our olden days, we used to have that small metal trunk. And in the trunk, he had this dye that he would use to dye his clothes. I still remember this dyeing the clothes. We had one Swamiji from Ramakrishna Mission who stayed with us. He had his clothes dyed like this. And I was not aware, what it is, So I washed his clothes and put it in the dryer. The whole dryer, all the inside of that became orange. I still remember it took many years for that color to go away. So people, some people, they don't buy the dyed clothes, but they dye the white cloth with this clay. Okay, so this is the Kashambara. Okay, what is the significance of this orange color? When the sun sets and when the sun rises, both the times it is the same color orange, that ochre color. So this is to say, even if the things are rising or falling, sannyasi remains same always. Always balanced in all situations, maintaining the equanimity of the mind. And the color of fire is also orange. Fire is known as the purifier. Fire stands for tapas. Tapa is to burn the impurities, with the tapas, that fire. Fire is where we offer things also. So that refers to renouncing things, giving up the things, putting it in the fire. So therefore, one who has renounced the pleasures of this world, he wears the orange clothes. And the last one is Ambara. Ambara in Jainism, there are two sects. One is Shvetambara and the other is Digambara. Shvetambara are the people who wear white clothes. Digambara are the ones who don't wear anything. So this white clothes actually represents purity. And Digambara people, so they don't worry about what the world thinks about them, about their nakedness. So all these are Bahukruta Veshaha, different kinds of disguises. So people who are serious about their goal of life to put put their 100% effort, they reject the world and take up the sannyasa. So all these veshas actually show their simplicity and they define who they are. So this kind of apparel that they wear is like a reminder to their commitment. It is a constant reminder that I have given up the world for the knowledge. So, but these appearances lose their significance if they are adopted for deceiving people. Just a few words about what is sannyasa. Simple meaning of sannyasa is samyak nasa. Nyasa means to give up. Samyak means very well or completely to give up. So renunciation of the world is the renunciation of the ego itself. So one may outwardly give up things, but if it is not given up inwardly, then they remain with you and continue to bother you. You know, if I might give up ice cream, but if I keep thinking about ice cream, it is going to keep bothering me. I keep wishing, why did I give up? You know, I wish I had not given it up like that. So this is what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, also in the 3rd chapter, Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mityacharasa uchyate. Those who restrain the external organs of action will continue to dwell on the sense objects in the mind, certainly delude themselves and ought to be called as hypocrites. So you can give up outwardly, but in a real sannyasa is giving up inwardly also. At a higher level, sannyasa is samyak swarupe avasthanam. That means abidance in one's own swarupa, one's own nature. That is sannyasa. Another definition of sannyasa is jnanam sannyasa lakshanam. Knowledge of the self is the sign of sannyasa. So, I just wanted to share with you what sannyasa is. Actually, it has in the verse, it doesn't say anything, but because we are looking at these things, I thought I will share a few points with you all. So in the middle of this serious sadhakas, there are some fake sannyasis who take up this kind of robes also. See, it is not just in sannyasa. In all in the society, in all work, different professions also, we can find the fake people, like fake doctors, fake nurses, fake policemen. Then the list can go on and on and on. And what is the reason for that one is minimum effort, maximum comfort is the mantra for such kind of cheats here. So these false sannyasis from external appearance, they look like real sannyasis. Okay. Here, the sannyasis are not criticized. They are not condemned. But those who have not understood the purpose of sannyasa, the pseudo sannyasis, they are criticized here. So even in the the field of renunciation, these things happen. But why? Udura nimittam bahukruta veshaha. So here Acharya is criticizing those who take sannyasa not for moksha, but for the udara nimittam, for belly's sake. Belly signifies physical comfort and emotional satisfaction. So he does not see the possibility of anything beyond his personal fulfillment here. This shows even at Adi Shankaracharya's time, also there were fake renunciates who took advantage of the society for their livelihood. Kanakadasa, the one Udupi Krishna. Kanakadasa and Udupi Krishna, you should remember it together. So he sings a Kannada song. He says, Yellaru maduvudu ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಗಾಗಿ, ಗೇಣು ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಾಗಿ, ತುತ್ತು ಹಿಟ್ಟಿಗಾಗಿ. What does it mean? It says, Ellaru maduvudu ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಗಾಗಿ. Everybody does this for the sake of the belly. ಗೇಣು ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಾಗಿ, for a piece of cloth. ತುತ್ತು ಹಿಟ್ಟಿಗಾಗಿ, for a morsel of food. Like that, he gives lots of examples. And then in the end, he says, but ಉನ್ನತಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನೆಲೆಯಾದಿ ಕೇಶವನ ಧ್ಯಾನವನ್ನು ಮನಮುಟ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡುವುದು ಮುಕ್ತಿಗಾಗಿ ಆನಂದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ. That means, but for reaching higher, for bliss, for liberation, is doing meditation with concentration on Lord Keshava. So it is not, it was there at all times. The fake sannyasis were there. Why we have these fake sannyasis is because they're well treated. See, the householders who live the life of an activity and of pleasure, they know how difficult it is to renounce pleasures. So they understand the value of renunciation and they consider it as their privilege to support the sadhus. So there is a great respect for those who have given up this world. But if it is only for the udara nimittam, for the belly's sake, one may ask, why take sannyasa? Just do, go begging. Why all these dresses here? But there's a lot of difference between begging and begging of a beggar and also a sadhu's diksha here. A beggar is not respected. Sometimes he is even denied the food. But for a sannyasi, diksha is offered with worshipful attitude, puja bhava. And also householders take care of these sannyasis, like taking care of their other needs, like clothes or the shoes, the chappals, whatever they need, they take care of them. Swami Tapovan Maharaj says, the difference between a sannyasi and a beggar is both of them don't possess anything materially, but one knows and the other does not know. One has the knowledge and the other one is an ignorant. A beggar does not work, but a sadhu need not work because he has no desire to gain anything. Swami Ishwaranandji tells a funny story. You have to think of this in India, not in this country. There was a thief taking the loot from a house and he was coming out. A person saw him and he started shouting, thief, thief, thief. So other neighbors also came and they started running after him. The thief ran and he went out of the outskirts of village. There he saw a small hut under a tree. So he entered that one and apparently a sadhu lived there because there were some ochre clothes and the sadhu was not there. Maybe he had gone for a early morning bath or something. So he wore the ochre clothes and he sat on his lute. And then the people who were running after, they wondered, where did this thief disappear? Then they saw this sadhu and they went to the fake sadhu and then they went and asked, Maharaj, have you heard any sounds? So this fake sadhu, the thief said, what sound? So they said, a thief ran in this direction. Did you see him? So he said, I only see God. I see nothing else here. So these people who were running after the thief, they bowed down to him and they emptied their pockets. Whatever the money they had, they gave it to him. So the thief thought, this is better than looting. You can just sit in one place and people offer money. Udara nimittam bahukruta veshaha. So if one does not have the knowledge and wears the dress of a sadhu, he is actually a real beggar. See, even in Ramayana, we see Ravana comes in the disguise of a sannyasi to kidnap Sitaji because he knew Sitaji will come out to offer bhiksha. That is the glory of sannyasa. And what is the symbolic meaning of Bhiksha? Here, we chant Annapurna Stotram. There we say Gnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Bhikshantehi cha Parvati, right? So the sadhaka is chanting, I am seeking Bhiksha so that I can focus on Gnanam and also try to cultivate full dispassion, total renunciation. So if this is the goal, then he is entitled for Bhiksha. So you know about Bhiksha. In olden days, it was Madhukari Bhiksha. That Madhukari is a bee. You know the bee, when it goes to suck the honey, it does not suck all the honey from one flower. It takes a little bit and it visits many flowers. In every flower, it takes a little bit. It leaves it for the other bees to come and take also. So Madhukari Bhiksha is where you are not hurting the householder who is giving the Bhiksha. You just take a little bit. So that is called Madhukari Bhiksha, and they used to take in 5 houses. So, and be content with whatever you get from the 5 houses. If you get more, normally they wouldn't go to all the 5 houses, but if you get less, you cannot go to more than 5 houses also. That was the Madhukari Bhiksha. And Guruji says, this Gnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Bhikshan Dehi cha Parvati. So Lord Shiva is asking Parvati for this Bhiksha. See, we have seen that picture, right? But here what Guruji says, this Gnana and Vairagya is not only for the seeker, the receiver who is getting the Bhiksha, but also to the giver. The one who gives Bhiksha is also blessed with these things. Guruji narrated the Samartha Ramadas story for that one. I had narrated the Samartha Ramadas ji's story 2 weeks ago when we were looking at Sajjana Sangati Rekha. Who is a Sajjana? At that time, I had mentioned that story. And here I'm saying that again because to show how this Gnana and Vairagya comes to the person who gives also. Okay. So here, as you all know, if you remember the story, Samartha Ramadas went for the Bhiksha, and when he went to one of the houses, the lady did not come outside, so he called out 2-3 times, and the lady inside got very irritated. She was actually plastering the ground, the floor and the walls with the cow dung in a cloth. So she had in her hand, she had a cloth dipped in cow dung. And she came out with that one, and she was so angry, she threw that cloth on the face of Samartha Ramadas, and she said, take this one. And she abused him also. But Samartha Ramadas was not at all unhappy or angry. He actually blessed her. And he took it out of his face, and he came to the river bank, and there he washed that cloth that she had thrown. And it is said, as he was washing, as the dirt was going away from that cloth, even the it was cleansing the mind of that lady who threw that one, and her sins were getting washed also. And then he dries that cloth, and then after that he cuts it into pieces, strips, and makes them into wicks, and then he lights the lamps with that one, and he prays to Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra ji, and he says, Bhagavan, she must be in a very bad situation, please help her. And as the diyas were burning with that wick, her ignorance was also going away, and the knowledge was coming to her. And it is said that she became one of the greatest devotees of Samartha Ramdas ji. So Gnana and Vairagya comes to not only to the person because he wants it, that Gnana and Vairagya, he is asking for Bhiksha. Even the person who is giving the Bhiksha also will get that Gnana and Vairagya. So my personal experience, most of the time I don't want to say it, but still it comes to my mind. What can I do? So in 1989, when we gave Bhiksha to Gurudev, at that time, I had no idea how great Gurudev was. I did not know his glory. And I did not even know what Bhiksha was. But, we offered the Bhiksha, and I'm sure at that time, Gurudev must have blessed us to walk this spiritual path. I still have a picture where I'm bowing down to his feet. Raghuji has taken that picture. That picture is still in my mind. So, Gnana and Vairagya comes to both the receiver and the giver also. So, just in case, someone wears the ochre clothes only to fill their belly, then you can say it is unfortunate. It is actually an insult to the ochre clothes because you are degrading yourself. But, it is natural that we do still see the fake sannyasis in our side, in our society. Gurudev says, fake sadhus who are like wolf in a tiger skin are more to be pitied than condemned. And these are false people. And there are false people in every walk of life, but fake sadhus are dangerous to the society. How? Because you go for some advice from sadhus. And if the sadhu does not have the knowledge, and if he takes you in a wrong direction, then it is dangerous. So once somebody asked Gurudev, Swamiji, these days we see so many fake sannyasis, bluff masters and cheats. Because of that, we don't feel like taking sannyasa. For that, Gurudev said, because there are frauds and cheats, therefore you should take sannyasa. And you must establish the glory of sannyasa. People seeing you should say, all sannyasis are not the same. Here is a real sannyasi. So that is the, that is the glory of sannyasa. Third pada says, Pashyannapi chana pashyati mudaha. So here, Acharya calls this kind of fake sannyasis mudaha, fools, because Pashyannapi chana, even though they are seeing, na pashyati, they are not seeing. What does that mean? He sees himself wearing the robes, and he also understands what the robe stands for. When people prostrate to him, he realizes why they are doing it. He knows exactly what his commitment should be. Even then, he does not follow. That is, even though seeing, not seeing. See, if you have missed the goal, even though you are seeing, you are not seeing it because you are choosing not to see the goal there. Swami Ishwaranandaji says, even though the truth is very simple, it can be seen with a clear mind, with clarity of thinking and purity of heart. Even though they can see the seeable, these deluded ones cannot see it. See, the fake sannyasis see the glory, the outer glory of a sannyasi, of a realized person, but they don't see the inner glory. What is the outer glory? Outer glory is when people are prostrating to them, people are garlanding them, people bow down to them, people touch their feet. These are all the external glory. Okay. So what is the inner glory? Inner glory is total freedom. Inner glory is total control over one's own mind. Inner glory is total commitment. Inner glory is total detachment from everything of this world. And inner glory is that joy of devotion, which they experience every moment. So the fake sannyasis see the outer glory, but not the inner glory. And another meaning for Pashyannapichana Pashyati is they took sannyasa to reach the goal of life. But being unable to practice the sadhanas, they have fallen. They are aware of this one. Instead of getting up and striving again, they give in for worldly life, which they had actually rejected in the first place. That is seeing, though seeing, still not seeing. See, if the goal is forgotten, it means path is also forgotten. Or you can say, if the goal is erroneous, then the path is also erroneous. Swayam Prakashanandaji says, the venom of pseudo-sannyasin lies in the fact that he passes for a genuine sannyasin. He sees the hollowness of it all, yet he does not want others to see that one. So we should understand the other point is, saintliness of a person has nothing to do with what he wears, from his external appearance. It is not necessary that a saint should take sannyasa and wear ochre clothes. He can be a gruhastha with family and children also. And he need not belong to a particular caste also. Caste, creed, nationality, religion, gender, all these don't decide the saintliness of a person. Then what is it that the saintliness of a person decides? That is the inner values, the core inner values. See, self is ever present, and self is perfection itself. And in that, we are trying to make our BMI perfect, but we can never make our BMI perfect, but we can use the BMI to become perfect. So the consequence of faking is we will never improve because we are covering up so much that we forget what we are inside. It is like putting the makeup permanently. So if the knowledge does not depend upon the external garb, then why all these veshas? Why wear all these things? What is the purpose of wearing this particular garbs here? One simple answer is, it is like a uniform. We see school children wear uniform. Doctors wear white clothes. Nurses, lawyers, police, military people, and so many other professions all wear uniforms. This uniform actually gives them an identity, who they are. See, the moment you wear the uniform, you feel responsible. It gives a psychological suggestion of who you are in that uniform. It makes you aware of your status, identity, responsibility, duties, and all. So a policeman, Gurudev used to say, when a policeman wears the policeman uniform, he has this lathi in his hand, he has that power. And when he goes out, and if he has to control the crowd, then he uses his lathi also. But when he comes home and he takes away his uniform and he wears his just a dhoti and a shirt or something, and he doesn't have any power. Who has the power? His wife has the power on him. So Gurudev used to make fun like that. So uniform, actually, when you're wearing, you have that power. You feel that power. Okay. So, and for a sannyasi, this ochre clothes reminds him of his commitment. Why he is taking this, why he has taken this ochre clothes. And so it reminds him, you have taken this ochre clothes, you are wearing this ochre clothes because you are in pursuit of knowledge. So you need to be committed to austerities and committed to the values and the renunciation. So that is why the people wear particular kind of clothes. So, and also this uniform that they wear, it not only affects them, it affects the other people, people who are seeing them in those robes. So it is an indication, like when I see a sadhu, it reminds me who that person is, why he is wearing the ochre clothes. So I don't go to a sadhu and ask him about worldly things. So it is like, you don't go to a doctor and ask him about the legal issues, or go to a lawyer and ask him about the health issues. So when you see a doctor, you ask him pertinent questions about your health or your sickness or things like that. So same way, when you go to a spiritual, a sannyasi, a real sannyasi, you ask him about the knowledge, spiritual knowledge, about what is Atma, what is Anatma, what are the sadhanas that I can take, and all this. But you don't ask him about the worldly problems like, can I invest the money in this shares, in this, or when is my child is going to get married? This kind of questions you don't ask a sadhu. You ask sadhu for your spiritual knowledge only. Guruji would say, go to a saint not to ask about future, but to make your future. So, and other point is, all the other professions, they wear the uniform only when they are on duty. But a sannyasi wears it 24/7 because spirituality is not a part-time job. And one last point, Guruji talks about the practical use of these uniforms. I mean, the sannyasis are the sannyasis of different sampradayas. What is the practical use of that one? He says, one is you don't have to waste your time thinking about what to wear. So, because one has to think what is appropriate to wear when he goes for either for a wedding or for a, like some public meeting, or even for a funeral. What is the appropriate clothes, one should wear. But for a sannyasi, he doesn't have to think at all. It is the same clothes he wears, whether it is a happy occasion or a sad occasion. This is the practical use of these clothes. So here we see, the, I'm looking for my shloka here. Yeah. Jatilo mundi lunchita keshaha काषायाम्बर बहुकृतवेशः पश्यन्नपि च न पश्यति मूढः उदरनिमित्तं बहुकृतवेशः. Selflessness is a measure of spiritual growth. If you are unwilling to get rid of selfishness and self-centered desires, we end up as hypocrites. And we think of higher, but we pursue lower. So we need to watch out for this pitfall as sadhakas in our life. Because selfishness creeps without our knowledge. Even when we are trying our best, slowly it creeps up. For this one, we have to be alert all the time. Shobana was asking, like for each verse, do you have a sentence like, limitation of wealth, limitation of pleasures, like that? I know I used to tell for each verse. So for this particular verse, the tagline for this verse is, don't fake perfection, live with sincerity. So for that one, what you need to do, you need to have full faith in Bhagavan. So Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhaja Modhamate. So this is the verse number 14. Okay, so in the next few verses, 2 to 3 verses, we see this how the desires doesn't leave us, and how hard it is to get rid of our desires. Very beautifully, the other acharyas are going to give the other verses, and we will see those verses in our next class. Okay? Okay, so we got 3 more minutes, but I'm going to end here. Okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om, everyone. Hari Om.
Hari
Hari Om, Mama.
Hari
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om Gita.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Gita ji.
Hari Om. Hari Om, Sita. Sita,
Hari Om.
can you call me
Hari Om.
tomorrow?
Sorry?
Can you call me tomorrow morning?
Okay.
Anytime. I'll be home.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
will. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari
Hari Om.
Thank you, Gita.
Thank you, Kumud. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari.